You think women choose that shade of lipstick just because it's red. You think she tests your patience just because she's bored on a Tuesday afternoon. You're wrong. Every choice she makes, every move she pulls, every single test she puts you through, it all comes from something much, much deeper. It's not about cheating. It's not even about abandonment. No, it's the one thing that women fear more than anything else in this world. It's the fear of becoming invisible. Today, we're going to rip open the psychological playbook behind women's decisions. We're going to explore exactly why she dedicates hours to her beauty routines. We're going to understand why she constantly seeks your validation. We're going to decode why she pushes you with tests that feel completely random, but are anything but. By the end of this, you will see that all of it, the drive for hypergamy, the obsession with beauty standards, the complex dynamics of a relationship, they all trace back to one single, primal fear. And once you finally understand this fear, you will never look at women, or your relationships, the same way ever again. Picture this scene. Imagine a woman in her early 20s. She's radiant. Every time she walks into a room, all eyes turn to her. Attention follows her like a shadow. Compliments flow freely, like a river. Her options in the dating world seem endless, limitless. She is at the peak of her power. Now, fast forward the clock. She's 35. It's the exact same woman, the same mind, the same spirit, but something fundamental has changed. The constant stream of compliments has slowed to a trickle. The lingering looks from strangers have become shorter, less frequent. The brilliant spotlight that once followed her everywhere has started to dim, casting long shadows where there was once only light. This is the exact moment every woman knows is coming, a moment she has been mentally preparing for her entire life. It is the creeping dread of fading into the background, the silent terror of becoming just another face in the crowd. It is the fear of being invisible, and that fear, it is the invisible hand that drives choices you don't even realize she's making, decisions that shape your entire reality with her. Let's break this down into its raw components. Why do women seem to obsess over modern beauty standards? Let me tell you, it's not just about self-care. It's not just about feeling good in her own skin. At its core, it is a matter of survival. Every layer of makeup, every carefully chosen outfit, every Botox injection, every social media filter, it is all part of an ongoing, relentless fight against the creeping tide of invisibility. Because in a world that disproportionately rewards youth and beauty, becoming invisible is the social equivalent of death. It equals irrelevance. And what about hypergamy? That innate, biological instinct to seek out and secure the highest value partner possible. That's not just about greed or materialism. That is her insurance policy against the future. It's that subconscious voice whispering in the back of her mind, the voice that says, if I can secure a man who provides for me, protects me, and validates my worth, then I won't vanish when my looks fade. I will still matter. Every single beauty standard she adheres to, every dating choice she makes, every swipe right or left on a dating app, it is all fundamentally rooted in that one primal, all-consuming fear of becoming unseen. Now, let's talk about the tests. You know exactly what I'm talking about. The moments she challenges you for no apparent reason, the times she deliberately pushes your buttons, the way she can create conflict out of thin air, conflict that feels completely unnecessary and draining. You think she's just being moody. You think she's just being difficult. Wrong again. These tests are not random acts of emotional chaos. They are finely tuned survival mechanisms. She has a desperate, unspoken need to know, are you strong enough to handle the world? Can you stand your ground when faced with pressure? Will you remain visible and powerful in a world that is constantly changing and trying to crush you? Because here is the brutal, unfiltered truth of the matter. If you cannot hold your frame, if you collapse under her pressure, if you fold at the first sign of a challenge, you will fade away in her eyes. You become invisible to her. And you need to remember this critical point. Invisibility isn't just her fear. If you fail her tests, it becomes your reality too. The moment she stops seeing you as a source of strength, you have already lost the game. Here is where it gets really raw, where the curtain is pulled back on the unspoken contract between men and women. Men and women are locked in a silent, invisible exchange, a battle against the same fundamental fear. Women fight their battle against invisibility through the currencies of beauty, validation, and hypergamy. Men, on the other hand, fight their battle against irrelevance through the currencies of status, power, and achievement. It is the exact same fear, just wearing two different masks. But women feel this fear more sharply, more acutely because biology has set a ticking clock on her value in the marketplace. Her fertility has a biological expiration date. The attention she receives from the world has a peak window, and she knows it. She feels it in her bones. That is precisely why her choices often carry such a powerful sense of urgency. That's why her behavior can seem so intense, so demanding. It's not random. It's not chaotic. It's a strategy for survival. Let me give you a concrete example to make this crystal clear. A guy I know once came to me, completely confused. He said, "My girlfriend used to dress up all the time. She was always posting selfies. She cared about every little detail of her appearance. Now, 3 years into the relationship, she's so much calmer, more relaxed. What changed?" I told him, absolutely nothing changed. The fear didn't just go away. It simply shifted its focus. In the beginning of the relationship, she was fighting invisibility in the public arena. She was competing for the attention of other men, seeking validation from strangers on social media. Later on, deep into the relationship, she's fighting that same battle in the private arena, competing for your attention, seeking your validation. She needs to know, now more than ever, am I still seen by you? Do I still matter to the one person who is supposed to matter most? That is why women ask those questions that can feel so loaded. Questions like, do you still find me attractive? Or would you even notice if I gained 10 pounds? Or the ultimate test, would you still love me if I lost everything? These are not casual, throwaway questions. They are micro-tests. They are the echoes of that same persistent fear of becoming invisible. Here rests the hard truth that most men try to avoid. You cannot eliminate this fear for her. You can't fix it. You can't reason it away. You can only do one thing: recognize it for what it is, and adapt your own behavior accordingly. If you're the kind of man who dismisses her fear as irrational or needy, you will lose her respect forever. If you are the kind of man who caves and crumbles under the pressure of her tests, you will lose her attraction just as quickly. The only viable path forward is to understand the deep psychology at play, and to remain strong and centered within it. Not so you can control her, not so you can manipulate her, but so you can remain relevant, visible, and unshakable in her eyes. Because when her primal fear of invisibility collides with the harsh reality of a weak, faltering man, the relationship is doomed. It dies a slow, painful death. So, from this day forward, remember this one thing. Behind every shade of lipstick she chooses, behind every curated Instagram post she shares, behind every single test and every seemingly irrational choice, there is one primal, unyielding driver: the fear of becoming invisible. And once you truly and deeply understand that, you will finally stop asking yourself, why does she do this? You'll know the answer. You will finally see the invisible thread that is pulling the strings on every single one of her decisions. The only question left is a question for you: are you strong enough to stand visible and powerful in her world? Or will you fade away too? If this opened your eyes, share it with another man who needs to hear this truth. And make sure you subscribe, because the psychology of women is never, ever random. It's a matter of survival. And if you want to stay relevant in her life, you better learn the rules of the game.